Thanks.
I'm live. Hello, my name is Danielle St. John, and I am running for Congress in California's 49th District. And I guess today's my last update, really, before tomorrow's the big day, our primary. And I'm still pretty excited. I'm still pretty hopeful about this. There's some new numbers that came out about the Dems and the Republicans, and because they do their own polls, right? But and they're actually showing Mike Levin at 17% for the Democrats, right? I was not expecting that, honestly. That's why, I think I called it not too long ago to somebody. I was like, well, he's a threat because he is posing as an environmentalist. He's not an environmentalist, but he's posing as an environmentalist, and people are worried about the planet right now and too stressed out to research, right? So they're like, when they're going down, the ballot, and they see environmentalists, they're like, Democrat, check, environmentalist, check, and it's working. So that's kind of nuts. On the other side, on the Republican side, again, a big shocker is they've got Harkey at 25% or something crazy like that. All the other polls were showing Rocky Chavez as the front runner there, but all of this, of course, is just smoke and mirrors because they don't poll anybody who isn't a Democrat or a Republican. The only reason I got these polls is because I'm a lifelong Democrat, right? So I'm still on their list, and I know that they didn't even mention my name. So I think that they are afraid to mention my name because if they do, then I exist, and people will start looking me up. So here we are. Now we've got the numbers for the two major parties, but there's still not much of difference between Sarah Jacobs and Applegate. They're coming, they're also right there. I think their numbers are up there too. But none of this stuff really matters because no party preference voters are 23%, I think, in my district. So, and none of those people got phone calls or polled. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited about that. So, oh, and also, I know that I've mentioned this before. I've been talking about this $11 million primary that we have, but the new numbers came out, and it is the most expensive primary in history at $14.9 million. And I know that there's been just gobs of money thrown into this process the last couple days, right? So we know this. We're not even done, right? This number is going to go up for sure. It's going to be more than 14.9 million. I'm predicting $16 million in this primary. Look at this. This is just a really clear example of how purchased this system is, right? This is ridiculous that there's this much money going into this process, but here we are. So now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is election integrity, right? So that is actually, it doesn't really matter who you support. Let's say that you're just a diehard Doug Applegate supporter. We all need to come together and make sure that we call our register of voters in San Diego and make sure that we are that they're doing everything that they can to make sure that the election fraud that happened in the 2016 primary doesn't happen again in the 2018 primary. So there's a few ways that we get to have a voice in this process, and one of them is through our vote, and the other way is through activism. And this is something that everybody can get behind. This is something that really can unite, that all parties can unite behind, is making sure that our votes are counted fairly. So that, more than ever tonight, is a top priority to talk about and to think about moving forward. It's not even done after tomorrow. We have to go and just make sure after we have to make sure to go to the register and get the results back, get a 1% sampling, and make sure I'm not planning on, unless I win by an overwhelming margin, I'm not planning on letting this go after tomorrow. That's when the job begins of making sure that our vote counts, right? So, and this is something I kind of hesitated to talk about, but There's this video that's been going around. It's not even really in the title, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Of this senator from Oregon, Jeff Merkley, visiting a center that's designated for these these children, this 1,500 number of children that we're talking about, the immigrants who come. Who come, and I guess they're seeking asylum, right, from another country, and they're taking families. They're separating families. They're taking children to one facility and taking parents to another, right? So this is something that I've noticed, a lot in the left echo chamber lately. I guess I can go back to full screen now. We don't need to look at Michael Vu anymore. Okay, but this is something that I've been kind of like focusing on in the left wing echo chamber. I'm not really seeing anything on the right, not too much on the right anyway, talking about these children, but definitely I'm starting. I see in the echo chamber, the Democratic echo chamber, that this. Where are the hashtag? Where are the children? And everybody's talking about this. Ripping. You start to hear these phrases come out over and over again when the echo chamber, the left echo chamber, wants you to hear things or feel things. And one of the things that I picked up on one of the things that they're saying over and over again is ripping children from their mother's arms. And so that's really to evoke a feeling. To make us, hate these new policies. So I was just watching this video because this Jeff Merkley did a Facebook Live video, right? So I was just watching it, and I have it, but I don't think I've got it queued up right. I could, but basically, it's him walking up to this converted Walmart that now there's estimates of 600 children being in there, and he's turned away. Like, they say that he can't go in, right? And and he says all of the right things for people to get on his side, right? And I'm all for protecting children, obviously, right? That's why I'm a little bit more than a little bit irked that now the left is trying, is just shocked about children being abused, right? I don't know. I mean, that just kind of irks me. You guys know why. But but anyway, so now here we are, and this senator's, maybe he's trying to do the right thing. I don't know. So I watched this video, and he says all of the right things right up until he says that the policy had recently been changed. And then we find out, he says, that it was last summer that the policy changed because they were worried about child smugglers. And that, to me, that just like set off like red alert. It's like, okay, there is one thing that I am fairly certain of that the Trump administration is doing right. It's the human trafficking, the child trafficking aspect of it. We've watched it together. We've watched all of these thousands of arrests for human trafficking and pedophilia. So this is something that I'm kind of protective of, and it's kind of like the right recipe for me to really raise my alerts, right? So they're trying to get rid of this program, right? They're trying to get America behind hating this program, right? And honestly, if it's a bad program, of course I want it gone, right? But the fact that the left all of a sudden cares about this, and this guy slipped up because he said the policy changed, the program changed because they were afraid of child smugglers, right? This is the one thing Trump has been working on the hardest, I believe, is ending this, and they're trying to end it. It's just a little fishy to me. I don't know if you guys caught it, but any of those truthers out there want to go back and rewatch that video, and just let me know what you think, because I don't think this is not over. So, which leads me really to the last thing I wanted to talk about is this whole movement that we've been a part of is really using politics, right? Using the fact that that we put so much of our time and energy into this system that basically only allows us to beg for concessions, right? And I think that with all of the lines that we draw, all of the division points that we put up, it suits an agenda, and it really isn't ours. This is probably the most important tool that the establishment, whatever you want to call it, globalists, whatever you want to call it, the most important tool that they have is the fact that we are so divided, right? And so I think, I've talked about this a lot. It's definitely a theme that I think is really, really important. But moving forward, I think that coming together and talking to each other is the best way to break down, this illusion, of democracy that we've got going on, right? So once we realize that the other side of the aisle isn't nearly as evil, at least the people on the other side of the aisle aren't nearly as evil as we think that they are, well, let's just see, like, what if everybody, all progressives thought of conservatives, as, victims of demagoguery, right? What if we came at it from that perspective, that they are victims of this, illusion that people with no money and no power actually are causing the problems that we face. It is another line, and it's a way to focus our hatred on each other versus the people that are really inflicting this, this is awful, these unimaginable conditions on us. There's no way that America should be, living in this pressure cooker. And as soon as we can wake up, and whatever that's going to take, whether it's going to take desperation, or if it's going to take us just coming together and talking, I just think that unity is the only way that we're going to get out of this. And I kind of want to just say thank you to everybody who's been doing this with me. This has been quite a journey. And I think if we look at, I know there's not a lot of Bernie people watching this, but if we take the Bernie movement as an example of the people coming together, we can immediately see that they're the biggest target of division from every single side, right? So you can see it. There's the established Democrats, they want them gone, and so do the Republicans. They think that they're just, entitled, whiny brats that want free shit, right? So the fact that every angle is truthers, the truthers are even bashing on the Bernie people. So I believe that, again, that all of us are victims at a certain point of this illusion, right? That we are attacking the example that we need to follow if we're going to actually get our country back. And that's just wrong, I think. So I just would like to encourage everybody to think about unity in everything that we do. And I'm never talking about with the establishment. I'm always talking about with the people. So unless there's any questions, I think
there was a few people commenting on single-payer healthcare, so maybe you want to talk about your positions on healthcare.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Healthcare. I believe it's a human right that we all have health care. Right now, what our system is sick care, and there is no incentive to make people well because people are profiting. A handful of people are profiting off of keeping us sick, right? So I think that single payer is definitely the way to go. Universal health care is definitely doable. It's more doable than anybody in our establishment politics say it is right now. It's really the influence of money and coming from insurance companies, right, that makes it so that it can't happen, and makes it so that we've got this a president that actually wanted maybe to implement some kind of a universal health care, but it made it so that we got Romney Care instead, right? And and this is actually, I think, what would make me another reason I would be a pretty fantastic representative is that I actually feel the struggles that normal people feel. Like, I've got a health insurance policy through an employer, through my husband's employer. And a family of four, his boss pays, his employment pays for half of our insurance, but our total policy is $1,600 a month for a family of four. So it's I think that a lot of times what happens is that because of this, this insulation, our politicians are so far removed from this whole process that whatever is being shown on the whiteboard, it makes sense to them, right? So it's definitely achievable. I think in the short term, I think we should probably be promoting something more along the lines of TRICARE for all than Medicare for all, because Medicare is pretty limiting, actually. It's limiting in what it covers. It doesn't really cover dental well, and I think that's dental prescriptions. I think that's something that needs to be included in every policy, right? Like pretty much across the board coverage. I'm not even, it wouldn't be that much money really to hire a hygienist for the stuff that's not really like medically necessary and kind of tack it on to these kind of programs. I also really kind of feel that we should bring our healthcare back to more of a community level, right? So I don't think that we should have somebody, sitting in a call center in Oklahoma deciding whether or not anybody should be on a prescription, against. So basically, if a doctor prescribes a prescription, somebody sitting in a call center that's never met you gets to decide whether or not you deserve that medicine. The doctors have lost all of their power, right? And I think that having definitely a program to incentivize doctors for health rather than for sickness would go a long ways. And I think that we need to get more, we just need to bring it down to a community level and focus more on well care than sick care.
Would you support an audit of the Fed?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's not even, actually, aren't they being audited?
You should probably repeat that.
Oh, okay. Do I support an audit of the feds? Yes, absolutely I do. And I think there has been one, or maybe that's the Pentagon I'm thinking of. I don't know. But yes, absolutely. We need a complete overhaul in the way that we think about money. And I think an audit of the Fed would give people some official information to confirm their suspicion that money should. So, is that all?
I think that's probably, the ones that should be covered.
Okay, cool. Okay, guys, well, tomorrow's a big day. I think so. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live stream with Freeman and Uphill Media for the election coverage. And so tomorrow's going to be an interesting day, guys. So stay tuned for sure. And yeah. So I'll be checking in definitely. Probably. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what time. Do you know what time?
I don't. But do you want to mention like what your plans are if you win and lose? How are you feeling about it? What do you?
Yeah, I guess I could do that. Yeah, I guess so. It's really, really hard to tell, honestly, like what the numbers are going to do tomorrow. It's because we know that we can't really rely on the polls, and they're not even polling the people that would vote for me, right? So all they're really trying to do, this is like a kind of an old trick to try to get, people who are going to vote blue no matter who, or red no matter who, to vote, to unify their vote a little bit. And I don't think that's going to happen, but they're so divided. So I think this is going to come down to a few percentage points across the board. So I honestly, I don't know. I'm not a politician. I'm definitely not an expert. I don't think anybody can claim to be an expert these days in politics. So if I win, I keep going. I just keep going with the campaign that we have so far. I think it's a great campaign, and it will be proven a great campaign because I haven't raised even enough money to file with the FEC, which is $5,000. So it's a stark contrast between what I'm doing in my campaign and what any establishment politician is doing in theirs. And I think that's really going to resonate really well with the people. So if I win, I just keep going with that. If I lose, I don't know. I think I'll probably keep up with live streams. I'm definitely not going anywhere politically. I think this movement is so far, beyond just me that I think big things are in store for all of us if this doesn't, if I don't make it into the general. And I could always just co-opt Doug Applegate's line and run next time saying, I've been running for Congress for 3 years. But I don't know, we'll see. But I don't have like I think you're supposed to do a concession speech. Not that I would anyway. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna. I really don't have a clear understanding of what I would do after if I wasn't in the general. But I know that we're definitely gonna continue the revolution. So I guess I'll leave you guys at that, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.